I'm just setting up all platform right now. So, okay, just a minute. Guys, close the door. Thank you. I'm just waiting for more people to come on so then I can talk about what I need to talk to. I got my notebook ready because I have some stuff that I wrote down. I was going to use my mic, but yeah, probably not going to use that no more. Okay. Hello. I'm sorry guys, if you see me looking, I have like 3 different divides set up to talk about it. I got my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and everything is just all over the place and I'm super nervous. And you might hear some crying in the background. I'm sorry. Um yeah, maybe I should try using my mic. I don't know. Can you guys hear me properly? Just type in the comments, let me know. Hey Dom, can you hear me? Okay. So welcome. If you are on YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Callie. My pronouns are Z and Zer. Welcome. Power to the people. Same as for Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys for coming. So today I wanted to talk about suicide. It's a very rough topic. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but I'm here to talk about it. Let's get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, because I know I was going to be nervous, I wrote some pointers down to keep myself on track. And first, let's start off with the differences. By the way, if you guys want to chime in at any time, you can, and then you can ask questions or anything. I'm here. Sorry, hold on. Ooh. You know, I'm gonna use this mic because there's a lot of crying going on. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Ooh. Hi, Tamik. Hello, Tamika. Welcome. Thank you for staying, Christine. Let me know if you guys can still hear me with the mic. If not, I will take it out. For my YouTube, let me know. Can you still hear me, Tamik? Let me know if I should take the mic out or keep it on. Okay. I have a second mic that I will be putting on for my Instagram. Yeah, I have a lot of mic on my Facebook, a lot of mic right now. Hi. There you guys go. Is everything good? Yes. You can hear your IG live is paused. Um, Sorry about that. I gotta go back to this. There. Okay. There you go. All right. So let me start over. So my name is Callie. I go by the pronouns Z and Zer. If you guys want to let me your pronouns, you can put it on the comments below. I will be paying attention. And I will say you pronounces if you're comfortable with that. So today I wanted to talk about suicide. I wanted to bring awareness to this topic. I know it's very hard to talk about. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because there's a lot of stigma with it. And first off, let's say the fact that people think if you talk about it, it's encouraging others to try to attempt, which is actually not true. That is a myth. I believe that once you talk about it, it's bringing awareness to people who feel like they're alone. It's giving them the comfort to know that they can come out and talk, and it'll also make them try and seek help if need be or whenever they're ready. So let's just get that out the way. There are also two types of um, ideation to suicide. There's the positive side and the not the positive, the passive side and the action side. So now with the passive side, basically what it is that people who are passive about suicide, I have it written down. um, I don't want to look at my notes. I just need to keep myself on track because I'm super nervous. The passive side of suicide is basically thinking that you want to do it, having the feeling that you want to die, that you don't want to be here right now, but not actually committing or having the energy to actually do that. So that's the passive side of suicide, and the action side is feeling that you want to, knowing that you want to, and actually committing or attempting to. So those are two of the ideation of it. Yeah, and there's a difference between having suicidal thoughts and being suicidal or just thinking about it. So, which is the thoughts. Yeah, so the difference between the thoughts and action, basically. So there is a stigma or a myth that said once suicide, always suicide. For me, it's like I'm with it and I'm not with it. Let me explain. I do believe that once suicide, always suicide, but however, that does not mean that once you've tried to commit or think about it, you are always going to think about, well, you're always going to commit, or that you are going to try for the rest of your life and just be successful. No, it does not mean that. Basically, even if you have been suicidal or have suicidal thoughts, you can actually live out the rest of your life. It's just that the thoughts have a way of creeping in to your mind and you thinking about it again, and it's not permanent, guys. Not all the time. Yeah. Sorry, I have someone with me. She also would like to talk about it or tell her side. So yeah, welcome, Lizzie.
What? No applause?
Would you like a mic? Here you go.
Oh, sure.
So this is El Bungo for you. Come.
I feel so official with your new mics.
Oh, thank you.
Watch
I
out.
know. I feel official too.
Right.
Can you guys
Ow.
all see her? Let me know
I'm
if I need
recording.
to move this back. So, oh, there you go. So you're able to see everyone.
I look naked. Okay.
You could actually come over more this way. And this phone, I might just turn it to the side.
Oh.
There.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah, we can
Hey
see everyone.
everyone.
So yeah, I was given the rundown about the difference between the different ideation, which is the passive side, and the action side. Oh, would you like to say your pronouns?
My pronouns are she and her.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Would is there anything that you would like to say, or you want me to continue explaining and then you
No,
chime in?
yeah. Continue. I'm
Okay.
chiming in.
So there's a lot of myths. One of the myth is that people who are suicidal are selfish and they just want to hurt other people, which is also incorrect. Actually, people who are dealing with suicidal thoughts or attempting or committing is they're not trying to hurt anyone. They just want the pain to stop, the hurt, the suffering of feeling hopeless or helpless, and just feeling like there's no one there for them or no one to talk to. Um, yes. So, I mean, do you have anything that you want to say about that? Any experience or?
I think it's not just those feelings. There's a lot of feelings that come along with being depressed and being super suicidal, and also having anxiety. We forget about having anxiety, and anxiety has a lot to play in like the depression, suicide, um, like you know issues that we have within ourselves. And there's a lot of feelings that come along with it, and we have to acknowledge those feelings and call them for what they are, because that actually does a lot to help. When we're feeling worthless or feeling useless, and we have to kind of have a conversation with yourself. Have you ever
Mhm.
done that?
Well, we need to also understand that like there is a difference between like even sadness and depression comes to play,
Yeah,
and what a lot of people like misinterpret is that being sad is different from
from being
feeling
depressed.
depressed.
That's right.
And like sadness, like we all go through sadness. Sometimes it is hard to differentiate the both because of what you have going on, but
Mhm.
being sad is like when something happened, like the loss of a family or a situation that it's hard to deal with and you're just not know sure what to do about it.
Can that also lead into depression?
Um, I think it depends on the background of that person.
Right. Like what they've gone through in the
Yeah,
past.
like depression is like it's a mental health like diagnostic and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there is a different, but it can I could see where it can
Overlap.
overlap with each other,
Definitely.
but we do need to understand the difference because one thing I've learned, like I know I'm like for me personally, if I do feel like I'm going into depression, I actually like to tell myself I don't want to use that word. I want to find time to know what it is and name it. Now,
Mhm.
for me personally, I struggle with that. During my studies, I learned why I struggle with it. And it does come from childhood trauma. I'm not afraid to talk about my past and my trauma. It's a part of my healing. And after all, I did go to school for this study. And if I'm
Mhm.
not able to talk about me, I'm not able to be an assistant to the person who's coming to me for help or for that assistant,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So I know it starts with me. I have to be willing to talk about myself and my story and like the things that I have to do to overcome all of that.
Mhm.
I still struggle with it, guys. I'm not perfect, nor am I. Well, I don't want to say I'm not perfect because I did study
That's
this,
why
but
it's so important to be able to reach out and talk to people, um and communicate with others, and just have a bond with someone, especially that person who's like got you, and you know that you can talk to them about anything and just like let go of whatever feelings that you're having. It's so powerful to have support people, and to have people who you're comfortable talking with, and you're comfortable communicating, and just having a chat, because that can relieve a lot of tension. Like I have friends who have anxiety, and they call me when they're having trouble, and they just vent, and that's fine. It's just fine to vent, you know.
yeah. Um, See, as Tamik was saying, sometimes they feel the burden to for
Mm-hmm.
others as well. I definitely feel that.
Mm-hmm.
That is why it's hard for me to even reach out, because I don't want to be that burden, or like call my friends. Like, she's always telling me, Callie, you should call me, and I'm like, I'm fine, I'm good, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. But it takes that person to really
Wait,
know when you're okay and when you're not. Like,
yeah, and someone to reach out to you,
yeah,
just to say, like, that's what it is though. You have a bond with someone, you're not always going to be the first person to reach out when something's wrong. Sometimes, you just get that feeling that something's wrong, or like, they usually call me at this time of day and they're not calling. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days, and it takes that person to reach out to you and just see how you're doing. So,
there was a question that says, what did I study? In 2015 I studied community service social work, and then I'm still studying. Well, due to Corona, I didn't finish up completely, but it would have been my complete year. I studied assaulted women in children counseling. I absolutely loved that I did both. It did bring a better understanding for me when working in the field. And also, because I studied the social work beforehand, I feel that it helped me in the assaulted women program. I feel that it helped me because I had a different understanding, and I had some time to understand like the hardship of the studies and what I was bringing myself into. And I actually had some time to heal on my own. May I just say, if you guys want to do these programs and help people, that's fine, that's great. I feel like everybody should do it if it's a passion of yours. However, please, I tell you, please recognize your own issues, your own biases, and your own things that you need to work on, your own mental health.
yeah, your own
Because
judgment and stuff as well.
I say this because I have seen a lot of free students who start in the program and it became too much and they had to drop out, or it just brought on a lot of things to them that they didn't know that was there, or that they didn't work on.
Hmm.
And when you have a counselor who hasn't done all of that, it can cause problems to the person that you're trying to serve. There has been a lot of studies of workers, psychologists, or anything that actually cause more damage to their patient than good. So please recognize your own stuff that you have going on, please. Um, is there anything you want to say?
I think that just to remind everyone, check on your friends, check on them, love on them, appreciate them. Um, our friends are what takes us through really hard times, and they're the ones who support us when we need it most. And we should reach out just to make sure that they know that we love them and we appreciate them and we want to see them, want to continue seeing them, want to see them thrive, want to see them, you know, do whatever it is their dream. So just remember to check on your friends and, you know,
There's a
appreciate them.
question that says, is this question for just me or if the both of us? Let me know, but I will answer. Do you feel like your intersectionality of being a person of color who's of gender or without gender has affected you, your depression, or your ideation? I didn't really think of no. Yes and no. Um, Within my culture, because I am Jamaican, guys, I was born in Jamaica, so my parents are also born in Jamaica. I was also, by the way, I was adopted, but by Jamaican parents, Jamaican family. So the thing is, when I was going through my suicidal attempts, my adopted mom, I actually never reached out to her, um, because she was also was some of the reasons as to why I had a lot of things going on
Yeah.
in growing up. She could attest to that. But it was hard. It was just culture shock to me. I didn't know what it was because I know I grew up in Jamaica and it was just like in Jamaica it's like, what is that? That doesn't exist. Mental health is not real in Jamaica, but it is. Um
It's a
I'm
very real thing, and a lot of people have problems, coping there alone without the help that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we should. I think that that's something that somebody needs to do something about. Like a body of people need to do something about it and stand for citizens who need it most. There's also a lot of like other issues. Like I understand there's a lot of transgendered
Well, the thing
phobia
about it is that culture has a lot of effect
to play in it.
on
Yeah.
how a person, but like going through suicide and stuff like that. Because as far as my gender, for me personally, no, my gender did not
Honestly, I think it's a
affect
Caribbean thing.
my gen. My gender did not affect me going through that, because at the time I did not think about my gender roles. I did not think about how I wanted to identify or my pronouns is. Actually, I was more so thinking about the pain that I was feeling and what I was going through. um why am I even here? Like at this point there's no point, I should just call it a day. And I've attempted lots of times. I've tried to drown myself. That didn't work. I've cut myself to bleed out in the bathtub. That did not work. My adoptive mom, I've actually seen when I tried to
Mhm.
jump off the balcony. And I didn't know that until when I was doing my studies in 2015. And part of my assignment was suicide. And she asked me, like, what are you doing? And I told her what I was doing. And she goes, are you crazy? Why would you even try to do your assignment on that, knowing that, as they say, you're magic and no good? I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, you yourself is suicide. Why would you do that? I'm like, how did you even know that? Because again, I never even knew she paid attention to me. And her response, I think her response, like really and truly, like killed me inside, because her response was, oh yeah, I was in the kitchen when I saw you try to jump off, and I looked at you and walked away. So I was like, that was more painful than me thinking that she didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think
That is
well, I've already
painful.
lost a lot of respect for her, but I think at that moment I was just like, I just can't wait to get out of this place. um
For real.
but yeah, I went through a lot growing up, and thank God I'm still alive. Thank God all my attempts did not come through. I do believe I'm here to serve a purpose, and I am here to speak the word. I went to school for it. I am very passionate about it. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. She said, thank you. I'm glad that you're still alive and here, Callie. I'm glad too. I think having my daughter definitely changed a lot of things. Because before I had my daughter, my biological mom had passed away. And to be honest, guys, she was kind of the only reason why I was still holding on. So when she passed, I was like, well, the one person I had is gone, so I might as well be gone too. And then the following year, my dad passed, and I was like, oh my God, like it's just so much. And I
It's
still have to
hard.
be living in this house with this person, and like, I'm going crazy. I might as well just end it. Like, I attempted again, but then I found out I was pregnant. I must say that was the last time I have ever even attempted to do it. And also when I was doing my, like in high school, one of my really good friend, RIP to you. I don't really want to tell your story. I don't also want to
Mhm.
disrespect your family. Um, she committed suicide, and that really did a number on me. In that moment, I realized that yes, I want the pain to stop, but I am not just hurting myself. I'm also hurting people who truly care about me. Because
Hear
when she
that.
did that, that really hurt me. Your mic, you took it off.
Oh my gosh. I'm about to go with the mic.
Yeah, that truly hurt me, and I think with her doing that and the way how she did it really shook me and changed like all the things that I was thinking about. Um, no, I have not tried to commit, but the thing is, the thought does not go away. It has a way of creeping in every now and then. Does not mean that I will try to attempt. It does not mean that I'm thinking of new ways. It just means that every now and then the thought about it, or the thought of why didn't it come through, like did I not try hard enough, was there something else that I could have done, it does tend to creep in. Hi, my sister from Jamaica joined the live. Hi, sis. um so someone wanted to know, I love you too. Someone wanted to know if who commits suicide on average, male or female. So people think that male attempt suicide more often than female. Actually, that's not true. It female attempt suicide more than male, but the only problem is male commit suicide more, and that is because when it comes to female, we take a approach of like taking pills, or like again cutting, trying to bleed out, just a different way than men. Like male, they tend to take the most drastic way out, which is like shooting themselves, jumping in the train tracks. Um, just yeah, they just take a harder way out, and that is why the static is that male commit suicide more often. However, females actually attempt more than male. Um, there's a lot I would like to educate you guys on. Again, I want to say I'm not a professional. I like to learn more things. There's always more studies to do. Um, yeah. So I feel like men have less access to mental health resources and guarded towards them. That could be true. That's true. And also, don't forget the whole stigma that men does not show their emotion. If you show your emotion, it means that you're weak. So I feel like because of that, they won't even try to reach out or try to find the resources for it. So that could also be a reason as to why. That's some real men. Sorry, sis. And there's more stigma around masculinity identity, talking about their mental health since it's seen as weak. Yeah, that's what I just said. Like it is seen as weak. I mean, I grew up with men, so I had the way how I do it myself. It's more people want to say I'm more, my mentality more of a dominant, like masculine way than a feminine way. That is because I did not grow up with any females. My sister herself too also is very masculine. I'm more like a soft. I don't think I'm masculine. I'm really soft when it comes to that part. But I'm also not feminine. So my sister know what I'm talking about. We grew up very harsh, and all the men, we have like 9 brothers or so, and it was just like you're not allowed to cry. It's a sign of weakness. People take it to use it against you, take advantage of you, all of that. So yeah, you were absolutely right, Dom. Let me just right here. Sorry, someone is asking me something about the live. Check. There you go. Yeah. If anyone wants to be in the live to talk, tell their experience, or ask me a question, you can. Just let me know and I'll pin you in. Sis, if you want, if anything to say, let me know. I'll pin you in. So, yes. um, yeah. So I'm still feel a little bit nervous that my co-host is not here. With lots of dads around. Yes, we did. We did. I'm pretty sure my sister's trying to say dads. Yes, there was a lot of men energy growing up. We also grew up to dress. Oh, there you go. Someone is joining our live. It's just loading right now. And I just want to thank you guys for joining me. Don't be nervous. You're doing great. Oh, thank you, Tamika. And thank you, Dom. What do I wish I heard? I wish when I was going through it that there was at least one person that was willing to be there. Um, I really felt like no one was there for me. I was definitely all alone. Also, that could I don't want to self like victim blame, but also I think that was part of my fault too because I also does not like I did not know how to open up myself to people. I did not know how to ask for help, and that plays a role of my culture as well. Because in my culture, whatever happens in the household stays in the household, and you're not allowed to talk about it, and you're not allowed to ask people for help. So that played a big role in why I didn't have anyone because no one knew. And unfortunately, the way how you were raised stays a part of you when you get an adulthood. Like even though I'm an adult now and I know the difference and I went to school for it, I still struggle with reaching out, and that was because of how I was raised. I'm trying to break that. It takes time. I'm a work in progress. We all are. So yeah. The live won't connect with my sister's trying to join in, but that's okay. Is there any other question? What kind of support do you think would have helped? Hmm. Are you asking in a professional way, like from my studies, or like a personal way? What helped you move through the feeling since you had trouble talking about it? I wrote a lot. I read a lot of poetry. I sing a lot. There's a one or few songs that I used to put on replay. That's what I played 24/7 to get me through the times. Like I lock myself off in the room all the time. Unfortunately, I'm still like that. I'm constantly like in my room with my lights off, even though I live alone now. I still do that. Yeah, but that's what helped me through it was playing a lot of music. I had
I'm
my
back.
favorite musics that helped me through it. There you go. Wait, I have so much mic on me. Jesus. And I actually had like an entire book. It was like bigger than this. I don't know if you guys could see it. And I had a lot of poems written in it. But my adoptive mom, when I actually ran away from home when my bio mom passed away, she found my book and decided to shred it. She
That's
shred
evil.
everything that was in the book because I did read a lot about her and like the way she was raising me. When I did eventually went back home and I was looking for the book, she told me, "Oh, I didn't find it. I thought I left it somewhere." But fast forward a few years, I actually found the book, and when I opened it, everything was
Like
gone
torn in
except
half.
from the no. It was like there was no pages in it except from the back, the very back of the book, and on the back it says, "Callie's an ungrateful bitch."
I'm really
That's what it
grateful
said.
that my parents, my whoever came to my house, never touched my diaries because I still have them. They're very embarrassing to read. I really wish I had my Pixel account still because that's where I wrote all my emotional poetry, and I let all of my angst, like anxiety and sadness, depression, all that stuff out.
One of my song was 16 at War. I listened to that song on replay. Runaway
Oh,
Love.
Runaway Love was a big one, yeah.
Tajik All, I don't know if you guys know him. He's of the LGBT community. I think his song It Gets Better brought me through definitely. And I think those are the and I listened to all of Eminem track. Like whenever I wanted to say something to her, but I didn't know how to say it, I was play the song and say it through songs. But we know how that goes in the Jamaican household. Oh, you playing song off for me? Okay, we I got you. And then I'll get the shitty end of the stick. But it was my way. So that was hard and hurtful. Kaya, sorry that happened to you.
Never had no headphones? Shit.
No, because I was also that kid who like I felt like I had to say something when I felt something I wanted to say it, but because I wasn't able to say it out loud, I said it through song. So as far as headphone, I wanted her to hear the song. Personally, I don't think she got through with the song. I don't think she even noticed that's what I was doing. What about the song that connected you? The lyrics, the lyrics. Especially when 16 at Work came out, I was actually 16, and it felt perfect. The It Gets Better. I feel like I used that song to tell myself it was gonna get better, and I put it on replay. And also, I was at that age, I had a feeling that I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know if I was bi. I didn't know if I was lesbian. I didn't know what I was. I just knew there was something different about
You were
me.
curious.
So that song, I known that he was gay, and even the video
Mm.
made me start to think more about who I was. But even after that, I still did not come out. Actually, I still didn't really fully come out to my family. I was outed. Thanks, sis. You outed me. All that same real talk, sis. Lots of people out here. Yes. Um, I actually wrote a poem for you guys today. Is there a story that you wanted to tell, or you're good? Do you have any, like, did you go through it? Did you have a story?
Oh yeah, I did actually go through I went through depression. I've had anxiety since I was very young. Um and I actually wasn't diagnosed with it until I had a very dramatic breakdown. A couple years ago, I got. Anyways, it was a long story, but the end of it was I went to CAMH and I went to their emergency center because I didn't know what was happening with me and where my mind was at. But it was really bad, and I ended up going to CAMH, and they ended up telling me, like, I ended up telling them a lot about me and a lot about my background because I know that has a lot to do with it. Um, and Yeah, I went to CAMH and I sat there not knowing what the hell I was getting myself into. I just tried to, you just have a sense sometimes that something's wrong, and you have a sense that sometimes that you just want to, fix it. You just want to fix yourself, and you don't know how to go about doing that. So you just kind of find ways to try to fix yourself and
Hello.
try to get you know get everything working right within your being. So that happened to me a couple years ago when I found out I had anxiety. I actually The year after that, I had a really big fight with my partner, and I ended up going to counseling, and we ended up going to counseling, and I ended up going to individual therapy, and that actually really helped a lot. Um, Again, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but the altercation led us to go to like a domestic violence course, and that actually really helped. And I went to Elizabeth Fry, and that was amazing. The counselors there are amazing. The staff is amazing, and just the counseling itself, like group therapy, was really powerful for me. And like I was I was shocked because I was like, one-on-one therapy is going to be it for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be a whole new person. And it wasn't until group therapy that I realized that this is the way I really like it, because I get to bounce ideas off other women and talk to other people and, relate to other people. And that's really important for me. So,
One of the this is my sister. Not everyone can see her. Instagram live. My sister's on here.
hi.
Hi, sis. I just wanted to know,
Yeah, group therapy is great.
did you go through? No, you can't.
whenever me I go through certain local circumstance, you and mama was the one who we can call on. And the other day me I go through a phase though where it's like me that call mama and tell mama say that at the time when me down by
Turn
junior,
the volume up.
and me I tell mom say me I go through a phase, me feel depressed, me feel a way like me that commit suicide. Like, you know, you just feel like you give up. Me until I say, I'm just tired of it. I'm just
Okay.
tired of life. And
Do you have a
just
speaker?
taking up faith thought
Can you
like
get the
that. And me
speaker?
I say, I'm going to say, I'm the only girl out here for my mother. I'm the only girl out here for my father. Sometimes I
I can
just
show you
feel,
guys her while she talks.
yeah, sometimes you feel left out and them look thing. But at the end of the day, you know, you have people out there who care. You know, we would have
We're
feel
getting
that
the
way.
speaker so you guys can hear her. But yeah, that's my sis. She's trying to talk about her experience. Yes. Actually, my sister and I are close, but I actually have not spoken to her about my experience, guys. Just a minute. Oh, I'm not sure. Is this the first time you're hearing that I've gone through this?
Yes, it's actually my brother said to me I kind of follow up my Instagram live usually.
Yeah. Even though as I was saying, even though my sister and I are very close, I actually have never opened up to her about um going through it or even thinking about it, and that should show you how it was growing up, where we just like hush hush, don't talk.
Yeah. Well, you have to get off there. Connect.
Most of all, it's
No.
most like when you come out here and you get to link up to that you did go through a phase, you know.
Just a sec.
Connected.
I had to pause.
Pairing. Connected.
Okay. Sorry. There you go. Can you hear? No.
It's
I
like
don't know.
most time you come to Jamaica, actually I was telling you that most
Sorry.
whenever you're going
Someone said.
just come to Jamaica
So,
for
sis,
vacation.
you could also answer this question. Someone said, would you say being queer or a woman of woman, or would you say being queer or a woman or of the black community contribute to feeling of suicide in any way? What would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely say definitely. A
You
lot
think
of
so?
times, yeah, because it's a mixture. It's a mixture of what you're going through and what you've been through and how you have to go about dealing with it. And the only way that you know about going away, like about dealing with it. So when it comes to like being in the LGBTQ community, we have a harder time dealing with um, like the stigma around like our own lives and all of the things that come with being who we are because there's so much stigma around like who we are and how we do things and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's kind of watching and I find that social media, like, it's like how you feel about people, a lot of people feel about social media, like social media is draining because
Mm-hmm.
you always have to be on your toes with social media, like, and you're always hearing like different news and your brain doesn't know how to take it. And that plays a lot into it now, like with the younger generation. When I was growing up, it wasn't that hard to deal with because there wasn't so many platforms and it wasn't so overwhelming and it wasn't so like what's it called, like full of
Mm-hmm.
people. So um yeah.
So I did say I have a little surprise. The little surprise was I actually wrote a poem in contribute what would I say, I wrote a poem about suicide. This is like, it was definitely written by me. I write all my poems. So I'm just gonna read this little one. Oh, actually, oh man, I actually have it on my phone. I'm gonna have to get it on my phone. Problem is, which phone belongs to me? That phone is yours, right?
I have no idea.
We have the
Our
same
both
phone pretty
photos,
much.
yeah, both of us both
Um,
look the same.
why didn't I write it in the book? Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Oh, snap.
The kiddos are trying to get in. It's funny because like we're in the room
Okay,
that they're always in, and now they want to be in here.
I could actually forward this to my email that way I'll put up on the laptop so no one is off live because Facebook is off now. Um, sorry. Sent to my email. Why didn't I do that? Resume. Pull it up on my email, please.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, hear me? Are you in la? Are you physical?
Keeping it clean. I wish I was in Jamaica with my sister right now. She's like probably living the best life, especially with the beaches. My email is right there.
Yeah, I know. I'm I'm lost when it comes to your computer.
No, that's
I
not
thought
that.
that was the email.
No.
It's right there.
No, that's
Oh,
not
that's
it.
the
That's
email.
my business email.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why did you do this?
Oh, here, let me do it.
Okay,
I didn't
just
know I had to do it in here. I'll do it. I'll do
no,
it.
no.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, she wants to do it.
Huh?
So this is a little poem that I wrote about girls. Guess what?
Nothing. It's loading.
While she looks for that, is there any question on Facebook, guys? You guys are watching. Is there any question that you guys have for me?
Not, you know, it doesn't have to be. We can just continue the live. Or did you want to end it?
I want to read the poem
I know.
because I'm.
Thank you so much. I
Wait, what?
Or
How do you feel making love to a girl?
they get through with the therapy, everything. But
Oh, to answer the question you just asked me about being with girls, so that's the thing when it comes to mental health. It is hard because for me, I don't know how I feel meeting someone, starting a relationship. The
topic.
thing, people don't accept it. It's not easy. I actually just experienced this myself. I never really thought that I had anything going on. I just thought it was normal because again, the way I was raised. I just thought, oh, I just have this in my head right now. It's no big deal. But as I get older and I do more studies, I realize, yeah, I do have some stuff, mental health that I have to work on. What's this
You
question?
have a
What's the best way
question.
to support someone who come to you with suicidal feeling?
There's another question first.
Oh, before that,
With group therapy, I was not reluctant to go, because I was actually excited to talk to my group members and to, you know, just fill them in on the rest of the week, see what they were up to, like ask how their kids were doing. Like it was a very supportive group, and the staff made it even easier because like we were there because of a court thing, but um it wasn't it wasn't like they weren't judgmental. It was a very non-judgmental zone. We could talk about whatever was on our mind, and we weren't going to get judged. And also, they gave us a lot of information that was really beneficial. Like they taught me how to do window breathing,
hmm
for example.
do you want to explain what window breathing is?
Yeah. So you think of us. You visualize a square, rectangle, like a window, and then you breathe up the window and out, and then up
Down.
the like down the window and back where you were, and you keep doing that, and it actually helps a lot when it comes to anxiety and coming down from anger. It helps when you get into arguments and you need to bring yourself like back to reality. We also did meditation, and that was so amazing. I love doing meditation. And I always heard about meditation, and I actually read a really cool book. It was called, I can't remember what it's called right now. But I have the book still here.
As for me, I did not do
I read it, and
therapy.
you didn't do therapy ever?
No, I have never um been to actually no, it's not really. I guess you guys will decide if it's therapy. So I go to George Brown, and one of the things that George Brown have is they actually have an on-site counselor, and it goes by, I think it, correct me if
Like,
I'm wrong, we went to school together. It's like section to which program you're doing, and then it tells you where to go.
okay.
So I actually had like an episode where I had a crazy meltdown at school. And I was like, I'm never gonna need it. I don't know why we're learning about this right now. I'm never gonna need it. And trust me, that was the first place I went to. I went and I'm like, I'm breaking down right now. I don't know where to turn. What do I need to do? They set an appointment. I got mine for the following week, and I went in, and I went in with the mindset that I already know this. I mean, I went to school for this. I'm a good therapist, anyways. I'm a good counselor. I counseled my friend. So what can they possibly do to help me that I don't already know?
Wow, you sound like someone I know. Not pointing any
So
fingers.
I went, and it started, and he was talking and asking me question about my childhood. I'm like, I'm not here for that, sir. I'm only here because this is what's happening right now. I'm trying to look for a place, and it's really hard because I was actually, once I started school, unfortunately I kind of was dealing with homelessness. So that was the biggest problem on my plate right now. So I was like, is it school or like deal with the situation of homelessness? I don't know. And that caused me to have a meltdown. And he went, and this man did not talk to me about that. He actually spoke to me about my childhood trauma. I was like, I'm not here for that. Like, if you're not going to help me what I need, I'm going to leave. And he's like, so tell me about that. Why do you feel it? And I kid you not, I don't cry in front of people, but I think he was the first person in my life to see me cry.
Really?
I like broke down. My sister have never seen me cry, and we're 28 years old now, and she's never seen me cry.
Damn.
So you have never seen me cry either. Um, so I broke down, and I was like, maybe I needed this. I think it was a lot that I was holding on to. There is a lot that I was holding on to, but I was like, I didn't come to him for this. Why did you do this to me? But I appreciate that I went, and I actually continued going after. So
I know once you start doing therapy, you're kind of hooked. Like, you kind of always want to do therapy because now you know you have someone there that you can always talk to when things go wrong. Like,
yeah, and it helped with a lot of my like schoolwork where I was able to focus more.
because you have so much off your head,
Yeah,
right?
and like even in my first year, I broke down again in the washroom because we were doing like our tech class, and I got my I got my marks back, and I got a 75 out of 100, and it was a complete meltdown to me. I was like, who the get 75 of 100? A dumbass, of course. Like, I don't do this.
I feel like
Yeah.
I've heard this before.
And
Like,
that
I
was
called
only
you that day
because
or something.
growing up in high school, when like I was on the honor roll in high school, and like my report card was good, but my dad was like, when he saw my report card and that was on the honor roll, he was just like, oh, this is foolishness. I'm wasting my tax dollars for them to tell you don't need improvement. What kind of cool school system is this? So that replayed in my head when I got my marks back. And then I had someone like Dom, my love, was just like, Your marks does not define your education. You just are here to do the work, understand, and come out and go work in the field that you don't need 100. And it took me a long time to get there. And eventually I did get there. Thank you, Dom. You always have my back. Yeah. So that was my experience with school and like all that was I had going on. And I'm still a work in progress, as I said. Every counselor needs a counselor, every therapist needs a therapist. Every No matter what you do, you need someone else that does the same thing. Okay, so let me just put that out there. I don't think I'm above all because this is what I do. As you know, myself needed, and I'm glad that I went for it, and I actually will continue to go once COVID is over.
I think learning about such things
Someone
are
snuck in.
a life, like a life journey. Like learning is a life journey. So even if we don't get 100 the first time, it's not because it's just our understanding level at that point. I think that's the issue with. That's a whole nother topic, but I
Okay,
think that's one
so
of the
when
issues with
this question
school.
is, what's the best way to support someone who comes to you with suicide feeling? Again, in order to deal with someone who comes to you with the feeling, we need to see where they're coming from and understand if it's a feeling, a thought, or an action. That's the way you can know. And especially if you're not a professional, I wouldn't advise you to give certain what am I trying to say, to give certain advice, um because that can do a lot of damage or good. Depending on the person and how close you guys are, that is my advice for that. I actually had a teacher who in our first year study, I had a professor where she was actually our suicidal teacher, suicide counseling teacher. And I kid you not, someone asked her a question about suicide, and her answer baffled me. Someone said the same question that you asked: "What can I do if someone comes to me about the feeling of suicide?" And she literally stood in the front of the class and said to the student, "Do not come to me with suicide because I don't deal with that. So whoever come to you, tell them that to go to somebody else." And I was like, here you are being that professor who's teaching us about this, and this is your answer in front of
The
everyone, not even
entire
privately,
class,
like in the
like
front of
that's
the entire
embarrassing.
class. Yes, maybe it could have been that person going through when she said that. So I took it on myself to took that person aside and have a conversation with her. And surprisingly, I was the one who stood up in the class and be like, well, first off, there is a difference between the feeling, the thought, and the action. So how about you start teaching that before you made that comment? And she was just like, I'm just saying, I had my own experience and I don't want to go back there. That is okay, but that's not the way how she answered was not professional, especially if you are a professor who's teaching this. So that was a little bit disappointing.
She could have been really frowned upon by alumni.
Yeah, that's true.
Just show them you're listening. Don't try to
Start there.
fix. Okay,
Oh
so
no,
to
that's
the
for Tanika.
question that was asked about what do you do when someone come to you? Someone else responded and said, I think it's important to meet the people where they're at. When you are at a point of suicide, you feel incredibly helpless over your circumstances, and sometimes just listen to the person at best and mirror or the
I agree.
reflection or language they use about their experiences. Just show them you're listening. Don't try to fix. If they don't want it, listening is also helpful, which it really is.
Listening is really helpful, and having your friends vent is really helpful to them. Um, I do a thing where I tell people my experience, so not to overstep their experience, but I do it to show like unity. Like I do it to show that I've been there too, and this is my experience. It's not. I'm not saying it's as bad as your experience or it's even close to your experience, but because I've had that experience, maybe you can see that I I'm on the same page with you,
Mm.
you know.
So basically, you're saying that you're empathizing
Yeah, I
with
empathize with
that
people,
person.
and I find a way to, just have a conversation with them and lighten the mood and let them know that I'm not judging them because I've been through something similar or something hard as well. So that we can have a discussion on, how to deal with it.
Like look bad life.
Um, so let me read this poem that I wrote before. Say, so it's titled "Suicide." I know. So it goes. Guy, when I was writing this, I got emotional. So if I get emotional, this will be your one in a million lifetime to see me get emotional. So take your card. It says suicide. This is not suicide. This does not mean I'm looking for attention, nor does this mean I'm seeking validation. But yes, it does mean that I want this pain to stop. That pain is the pain that is no longer holding me back. No, sorry, I gotta start over because I actually never written down. I've never let anyone listen to my poems before,
Oh, you've
except
never
from
performed.
only once, and that was for December 6th, like the violence
Oh,
against
okay.
women. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm gonna start over. Okay. Suicide. No, this does not mean I'm looking for attention. No, this does not mean I'm seeking validation. But yes, it does mean I want this pain to stop. This pain that is no longer holding me back. You see, the thing is, I smile, I laugh, I tell my loved ones that I'm fine. But if you look beyond, you'll see that the fine line that is walking with my shadow behind. All I can do is just hold on to that little bit of light that still shines inside. I just want to say to all who struggle with suicide to know that one day you will find your light that shines so bright and that you are loved. Thank you.
Happy
Yes.
snaps. Oh, I miss
Uh,
going to spoken word. Oh.
that took a lot for me to read that out loud. I usually just keep that to myself. But I'm trying to make a change, and it starts with me, myself, and I.
You ever gone to spoken word?
Um, no.
Oh, it's amazing. I gotta take you now.
So I'm gonna say snaps and claps.
Yeah, it was really good.
So thank you for listening to my poem. Thank you guys for joining my live. I do understand that there's a lot more to it, but it's been a long life. Would you say? If there's any part 2 that you guys want me to do, I'm not sure if you guys were able to learn some from what I was talking about. Yeah, that what? Sorry, I'm reading what is this a question or comment? Yes, if they say they're depressed, use the word depressed. If they say that they're suicidal, use the word suicide. Don't diminish anything or change anything. Oh, yes. What about the euthanasia assist suicide? Do you know do you have a
A
okay,
story about that? Yes, I
no,
do.
so that is the what this person asked me about. It's actually about the
Euthanasia?
yeah, the euthanasia of suicide where you're not it's committing suicide but in a medical way. For example, if I was in the hospital, like stuck in the hospital due to a medical condition where it's internal, and I know that I'm probably not gonna live past a certain time,
My dad went through that.
this
It was
is
really
when
hard,
you then
actually.
ask a person to do it for you.
It's not only that. Sometimes they ask your family. Like in our case, um, my dad had a stroke when I was 17. And it was really sudden. Like one day he was fine, the next day he was like a vegetable. He
My
lasted,
dad, oh, that did that.
Yeah, my
yeah,
dad, that happened
That
to my
had
dad.
strokes,
yeah,
and one day that was fine.
and
The
then the
next day
next
he turned
day
vegetable.
they're just
My right
gone.
side just gone, eyesight,
Yep,
losing
he couldn't
eyesight.
walk.
So in time when nobody,
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, I could totally relate. It was
Yeah.
really hard, and it must have been
We
super
see
hard for
that
you guys
too,
to watch.
especially if you see it,
Yeah.
especially if you know say you get the phone call and the movie 20 don't gone bad, you know?
Yeah, that is what happened to me. So my
When
mom,
you see me I cry, you start crying.
yeah, I know. And he was already gone when I got there, but like it's like they still know it's you,
To me,
you know?
that part hot.
Hmm.
When we get the phone call and we go to the hospital and we look for him and so the different emotion there and
Hmm.
cry was a different cry. To me, that is a part of suicidal for me too.
Hmm.
When we lose daddy, when Bob, they are Canada, or she they are England. You understand
Which
me?
is my brother.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the tongue that my stepmother, she not a pity for daddy. And it just messed up the thing, and it was me one, and when he to do surgery and all them things, but she did a
Wow.
bug out from the money that I would big brother England. So Pam, Pam big son that I was step brother, call him and tackle him. Them time me don't call him and share what is what, and so that means that my words to him was nothing, and me I got saved blood.
Mm.
And when Pam's son call him and tell him up, it's when he do send the money, the hospital no want it. Them say to be a
Yeah.
if you do a brain scan, if you do a scan on him brain, if you see if anything did go wrong up there. But when the money do come, they no want it money because him catch strokes, the right side crippling, start losing eyesight. By the time I want them to the hospital, that's a two my mom and one body on foot to each.
Oh man, that's
Sometimes I
rough.
really like to put it at that point it be in a position could have helped out it more than he got would.
Yeah, that's
But
really
no
rough.
time
Like
happen.
in Jamaica, it's probably even harder because like it doesn't have the same standard of medicine or whatever here. But here, it sounds worse to be honest because when I went to the hospital that night, they were ready to pull the plug right there and then.
Yeah.
They were like, he's already too far gone. There's too much blood in his brain. So like, do you just want to pull the plug? And we were like, it's been 5 minutes. Like give him a chance. So my mom ended up giving him a year. And it was actually really beautiful to watch them, to watch her take care of him. I know it was a really hard situation because he was basically gone, but there was some reminiscence of him there, and
That's true.
my
Yeah,
mom
the
took really good
blessing,
care of him.
blessing he fall from the to kind of people and all that.
Hmm.
And one look on me and tell me that beside my father sick bed, Him said, Brownie, you have enough blessing forgetting all this that you spoil it up, all this that you mash it up.
Oh wow.
Him said, this way and do, but that was touching to me. Now come here and say, watch it. Me never see my father penis or nothing like that. Me have to have clean. Me have to have clean. Me have to have put when we put on and put when we
Hmm.
put together. Yes, what is this on me now, Lord? But from this, so, I know say, Father God, I need this.
Yeah.
But all when I know is that it is still a try reach out to God, I was trying to trust Him, I'm not trying.
Guys, I
That's
know
my
when both my parents passed away, it hit me. I'm not saying it hit me harder than my siblings. No, I'm not, because they were the one that was there to see my
Yeah.
parents go through it. Especially the way how my mom passed. It was just a horrible way. Unfortunate, like my brothers were there to see it and I wasn't there. But what I'm trying to say is, oh my god. Oh, what I'm trying to say is it affected me in a drastic way, because like even now it does affect me, because it left me thinking. First of all, I went through so many different phases when my mom died. Like I went through the phase of, well, not eating and crying, feel like this was it because that
Yeah.
was my best friend. And then I went through the phase of like, what, I'm gonna just drop out of school. Because even after my mom's funeral, when I came back to Canada, that very night, unfortunately, my adopted mom beat the crap out of me. So I
Fuck.
end up running away. You remember when my
Yeah.
face and my
You end
oh
up
my mouth
leaving.
was busted. Um, I ran away, and I was like, I'm no longer going to school. Yeah, I was like, I was no longer going to school. And then what I'm trying to get at is that it left me thinking where it is unfair that I didn't get to spend certain lifetime with her because again I was adopted and I lived here. She was in England and she went back to Jamaica, and it's like when my brother that was like I'm really close with, he wouldn't even talk about my mom. Like he, whenever it comes around to her anniversary and I try to talk to him, he's just like blank. And he's very yes, as my sister said, he's very secretive. He doesn't talk much, but I know that it affects him in a way. But my younger brother, I guess he was the only one that was able to show some type of like the way it affected, because when I went to my mom's funeral, the night before the funeral, I spoke to my younger brother because we were really young too.
Mm.
And I asked him and I said, um, do you know where we're heading to? And he's like, yeah, we're actually going to a funeral. And I was like, do you know whose funeral we're going to? And he
You
was like,
didn't know?
no, no, I was asking my brother because
Oh,
I was concerned
okay.
about him
Because
because
he
of
was
the way.
younger, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
and when my brother looked at me and told me, one, he knew we were going to a funeral, but two, the person's funeral that we were going to was not my mom; it was someone else. And when I asked him, then where do you think mom was? He said, "Oh, she's waiting for us to come."
Mm.
She's already down there waiting because it was from the city to the countryside. So she was being buried in the country. We were in the city. So he was saying my mom was actually in the countryside, just sitting there waiting for us to show up.
Oh.
Um, no, he like I think it was the shock. Like he lived with mom and he was there to see the way how she
Mhm.
passed, but that was his way of dealing with it by not like by pretending it wasn't her. I'm glad he had the opportunity to seek counseling, but like when when I had to break the news to him that we're actually going to see my mom and he started crying, my uncle, as I said, guys, I grew up with guys only, so my uncle that I grew up with was like, why are you crying? You are a sissy for crying. You're acting like a girl. I would want to say how he said it in Pato, but I'm trying to translate to the best I can in English. He was just like, you're acting like a little girl. Like, why are you crying? You're being so emotional. Like, it's not right. You should man up. And even the day of the funeral, when I was crying, when I went up and I saw my mom in the coffin and I was crying, my aunt came up to me and she was like, you're acting like an idiot. Like, why are you acting like such a fool? Why are you here crying? I'm like, I'm crying because my mom is like gone. Like, she's being buried. I'm seeing her in the grave. And she was just like, and so, like, you're
I
just
had
being
the
dumb.
same shit that happened to me.
So I was
Um,
just like, I don't,
with my sisters, yeah,
yeah, like, I
or one
actually
of my
don't
sisters.
mess with my family like that. There's a lot of other reasons as to why I don't speak to my family. The only family I do speak to, like blood related, is my sister and my brothers. Otherwise, from that, I don't speak to anyone, not even my aunt or cousins, uncle. I
When
don't
my
speak to
mom died
anybody.
in April, it was like that for me too. Like my oldest sister was like, "Why are you guys all crying?" Like, and I was like,
She's strong.
"She is strong because you know what? She came here and she raised like all of my siblings. My mom brought everyone here, and she raised them all back home, and then raised them here as well. And she took care of a lot of our family, and that's amazing. But I'm not you. Like I don't know. Like I'm not her. What is what I mean? I don't know that hard, life that she knew. I don't know the crap that she had to go through, and like I need to grieve in my own way. Like nobody can dictate how other people grieve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to grieve the loss, especially of a parent. Like when my dad passed away, I feel like what helped me sleep at night is when before he got euthanized, which is what we were talking about. I went in and I went to go see him, and I sat down and he couldn't talk to me, but I talked to him and I told him like all the things that I was feeling, and that I really miss him being at home, and like just everything that was on my mind, and that I loved him so much, and I just kind of confessed everything to him. And it felt really good to me, and it felt really good for him to listen and just look at me and hold his hand, and that was all I needed. And so when he passed away, like, I don't know, I don't really, even my mom just passed away. She just passed away in April, and it hasn't hit me yet. Like that, I
Yeah.
don't think that loss has hit me yet.
It takes
It takes a
time
lot of
for it to
time.
hit you. Like everybody grieve differently. Like remember I was telling you when I finally realized that my mom was not here because
Mm.
my mom passed away in 2009.
When my dad, the same year my dad
Yeah,
passed
that's
away,
how we
that's how
met.
we bonded.
So my mom passed away in 2009. And honestly, guys, it did not hit me until 2015. And that was because I was doing my studies. Like, I
Mm.
came home one day perfectly fine. Nothing happened. I just came home from school. We didn't have a hard day at school that day. It wasn't like heavy topic or anything. It was a normal day, normal chill day. I came home, and as I mentioned earlier, in my household, because it was so abusive, I actually did not speak. And it was like I went straight into my room all the time. So I was
Mhm.
always in my room, lights off, everything. And whenever I like cried or anything, I made sure nobody was home because I had this sense of nobody's gonna have that satisfaction of seeing me cry. So when I got home, this time the only person that was home was like my dad and my daughter that was home. And I went in my room and laid down on my bed, and it was a good day. I was like, today was a good day.
Mhm.
And the moment my head hit my pillow, I don't know what happened, what came over me, but like I started to have a meltdown.
Because it was a good day. Like,
I
and you wish he was there for it. You wish that was the person you could just call
I
and be
wasn't even
like,
thinking about anything,
I know, but
but I
like
know what you
sometimes
mean
you
internally.
internalize it.
And I just started crying. I totally forgot that my dad was home. At this point, I didn't care about who saw me crying. I couldn't stop. I really tried to stop it. And I actually called one of my friend that I met in college. I called her up and I was like hyperventilating and I couldn't even talk. I felt at that moment I actually felt like I was gonna pass away because
Mhm.
like my chest got so tight I couldn't breathe. And she's all I could hear is her talking, but I couldn't respond. And then she was like, oh, I'm gonna call our professor. Our professor that year was really good. She gave us her number just in case. She's been working in the field for like 40 plus years, and she kind of related with us. So she gave us her number, and she called my teacher, and both her and the teachers on the phone talking to me, and I'm like, I'm trying to talk but nothing is coming
Mhm.
out. And I'm just like, all I'm thinking is this is my time. And like I didn't put anything in order for my daughter, like oh my god. And I just had her too because she was like 2. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like nobody's gonna take care of her more than this. Is all that's going through my head in the moment of feeling
Mhm.
like this was gonna be my time. And my teacher's like talking to me. She's telling me to breathe. She's making me do the 5 thing exercise that I do with you, like the 5 things that you could smell, 5 things that you could taste, 5 things
Honestly,
that you could
that helped
feel.
me so much when I got into my car accident because I felt like how like exactly how you just described you
Yeah.
feeling, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I just picked up the phone and called Callie because that was the only person that I knew, like that I thought could help me in that moment.
Well, thank you. And when I finally got the opportunity to say something, the only thing I remember saying is why. I was like, why did he
Mhm.
take her away from me at such a young age?
Mhm.
Like, why did I deserve that? Yeah. And I was just like, haven't I gone through enough to just to have him take her away from me? Like I went through so much in my life. Like I
Mhm.
think I was like, I'm tired. Like I'm tired of going through it. Like I'm tired, right? And I look out my windows and I saw like a dozen birds. And for some reason, when I saw the dozen bird, I actually out of nowhere was like calm. I calmed down.
Mhm.
Um, then my daughter run come into the room and she's like, she looked at me and she goes, "Mom," because she talked very early, right? Like she was an early talker. She goes, "Mom, your mom said to tell you that it's okay." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Your mom told me to tell you that it's okay." And I felt a sense of peace. in that
Mm.
moment, and that was the first moment I realized I actually mourned the death of my mom. It was also my first time experiencing having an anxiety attack and a panic attack all at once. So I didn't know what it was. That was my first time experiencing that. So
I like um Tamika is making a good point about feeling numb, and
yes.
like she's saying that she felt numb when her friend passed away, and like I feel that you feel numb for
Wait,
a
she said it
while.
was
You feel
followed by
like
guilt.
yeah, because there is like a technical term for the steps of getting over something, or the steps of the layers of um, sadness or grief, or how to deal with it. Like there is a way, but everybody feels these things, and we just
Yeah.
don't know how to deal with it in the moment, because again, everybody goes into these emotions in like a different
different
sequence.
phase.
Yeah. So like some people will feel numb first. Some people will feel anger first. Some people will feel just complete depression or complete sadness first. Some people will, you know, um not
Say
feel any like
some
not feel
real
anything.
talk
They'll feel
here,
normal.
some real talk.
Yeah. Tomiko was also
When you're just
saying,
flying, remember, when you're just flying, when daddy passed and you're flying to come at the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
at that time, I was feeling hunger, hungry. She was all butchy when you see all the mess with my do a St. Mary, but this I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
A rage was my LGBT friends was there for me at the
Yeah.
time. That's time I love them saying,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's important to have friends and to have people to talk through those really hard times, because any one of those phases can make or break you.
Yeah. And
They say
Tomiko was
that it's
saying,
one
what was she
huge
saying?
phase, but she was saying like she felt anger at people who didn't know her and who wanted to like apologize for actions afterwards. And I really get that. Like when my dad was being euthanized, the nurse, this is how I said that I would never ever do nursing. Because I was honestly considering being a nurse and being a hospital staff or something.
Okay,
But the way
sis.
she handled me, oh, see you.
Thank you for being on the live. Love you too. Right.
So the way that the nurse handled our specific situation, like I was so angry, and I'm still angry. Like I'll talk about it, and I'm really upset about how the way in which I feel that people at the hospital need to be compassionate,
Mm-hmm.
because they work in the field of compassion. Nobody asked to get sick, like sure you might think about it, like, oh, I smoke a lot so I'm going to get sick, or I drink a lot so my liver's going to go, but we never know when, and we never know how we're going to handle it when it does happen. So the fact that I came into the hospital and she's like, oh, you're too young to make the decisions, and I'm like, let me talk to the doctor, and she's like, I'm like, what is going to happen after this machine sucks all the stuff out of his stomach? She's like, oh, he's going to die. And she was like so nonchalant about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like in a state already, and she just like amplified it. So I really get it. Like anger comes out in the most unusual ways. Anger, sadness, being numb, not being able to speak to anyone. Sometimes it looks like you're depressed, but you really just don't want to see anyone's face. Like,
Yeah, and that comes to the point where Tamika was saying that guilt feeling.
mhm.
I definitely felt a lot of guilt when my mom
Oh yeah,
passed.
me too.
I
Yeah.
actually started blaming myself. I thought it was my
Hmm.
fault, but not only did I think it was my fault, I was told
That it was
by
your
people
fault?
that it was
Yeah,
my fault.
same.
I don't know how it was my fault, but I started to believe it, especially
Both
because I
my
was also
parents.
very young. So I understand that anger you feel, and like when
Yeah,
people hear
it
that
is
my
very
mom passed,
unfortunate.
like their first thing is, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "No, like don't do that." You can empathize with me, yeah, but like the way you're going about it, like I'm not saying it for you to feel sorry for me. Please don't.
Yeah.
Um, but even her case, like from what I was told, because again I wasn't there, so from what I was told, like she was not handled properly in the hospital either, because she went in when she was pregnant, she gave birth, and like um the nurses did not check on her when she
Mhm.
gave birth. She wasn't even allowed to be giving birth naturally due to medical reason, and they allowed her to do it. And she had a few seizures.
Yes.
From what I've been told, like she ended up hitting her head on like the barrier thing,
Mhm.
and they just put her back on the bed like it was nothing. And then my aunt went to go visit her, and my aunt was like asking the nurse like, "Where's my sister? Like, what room is she in?" And they're like, "She's right there." He's like, "No, that is not my sister. I put it right there."
The butt?
Yeah, the charger. She was like, "Oh no, that is not my sister because my sister does not look like that. It did not look like my mom. My mom, even when I saw her in the grave, that did not look like her at all." And
They always look different when
the
they
guilt
go.
was definitely still there for a long time. It's taken a long time to not feel that guilt and feeling like it, knowing that it was not my fault. But it took certain people that's in your life, though
Oh,
it
thank
takes the
you.
work.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm on it. It takes sitting there in your feelings and understanding. Sorry the nurse was insensitive like that. Yeah, the nurse, doctors, what comes into play is like the fact that we are black. That is a big problem that is in the medical system that we need to change. Um, a lot of things is changing right now. A lot of things being dismantled, which is a great thing. But as far as in the medical field, there's a long way to go. So,
Yeah, it's really hard to deal with the loss of a parent, like the loss of anyone, the loss of your friend, the loss of your closest friend, the loss of your siblings. Like um it's hard to deal and it's hard to grieve after. And I definitely say counseling is one of the best things to do, especially after the death of a loved one.
hmm
It's good to talk about it with someone professional, talk about it with someone who, knows what they're talking about. Um, if you don't feel safe with the person that you're talking to, you can always request a new counselor,
yes.
right? So don't feel like end game if you go in and you don't feel right with the person that you're talking to. You can always go and request a new person through management or through whoever. It's a really good idea to go talk to someone. And honestly, group therapy was really great for me. I am definitely um, suggesting it. I would definitely suggest it,
Well,
to try
also,
it out.
guys, don't forget that you're the author of your book.
That's right. You
So
are.
no one can tell your story. You're the author, you know?
Hmm.
So don't forget that. If there's something that you don't like, you know what you can do? Rewrite it. Change the narrative.
That's right.
Change the setting. There's always different ways to um I don't know what am I trying to say? Because I don't want to put my ways as to how I dealt with things because my ways was not correct. It was not the correct way for others. However, it was the correct way for me in that moment. My mechanism was not the best,
Mhm.
but it was for me. So you have to find your way, right?
Yeah, definitely. You do have to find your own way. And don't be afraid to try things out. Like, even hobbies. Like, new hobbies can help alleviate the uncomfortableness of like what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Finding something that you're interested in, doing something that you love to do. I know it's really hard when you're feeling what you're feeling and you're going through what you're going through, but bring a friend along, go do something together, even if it's just taking a walk every day, or meeting up once a week to you know really video calling, anything like playing a video game. It's about trying to connect with yourself, but also have company so you're not in your head. Like, I know that a lot of the time for me, I'm in my head, I'm talking a lot, and I'm just like, can you shut up? Can you please shut up? But like your head doesn't stop, right? So
Yeah.
talking to someone and letting all of that going on inside out, through one way or the other, whether it's expression or talking, it's
Hmm.
a good outlet for uh, anything that you could be feeling, even happiness, right?
Yeah, guys, like you may not know what others are going through. Please be kind to one another. Um when you see people on the street, I know a lot of people are not kind. I've definitely experienced unkind people on the street,
Definitely.
but I still make that a point to be nice to them because you never know what a person is going through. Sometimes just saying hi can actually change someone's life. Just even a smile could actually make that person not attempt or commit suicide in that moment. Like you never know. Just please be kind to one another. And
And call, like, you know what, I was going when I was going through my mom, I called a lady out at Tim Hortons. She was being really disrespectful, and she was like honking us, and she was getting upset because we were taking long with our order, and I was gonna leave her, but I knew that I would just think about it all day. So I stopped my car, I got out, I walked up to her vehicle, and I told her, I said, my mom just passed away, and I'm getting food for our family because we've been up all night, grieving together, and like you're kind of being an asshole. And she checked herself because you don't know, like you could be upset in the day and you're like really grumpy and you're, being an asshole to someone, or, you're just not being polite. It's as simple as that. That could tick somebody else off. And you don't know what other people are going through in the day. Like, I don't know if her husband left her. I could have cussed her out. I could have been like, you fucking bitch, don't fucking talk to me. I'm not
yeah, on
taking that
YouTube.
long, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could have done all of that, but um, I didn't do it because I don't know what other people are going through, and I don't know what she went through that day and why she's being a bitch to me. So
Yeah.
yeah, just politely call them out. In
Yeah, call them out, but like in a respectful way.
a
No,
respectful
even
way,
if
in a
they're
nice
being
way,
nasty to you.
you know?
Um, I'm an advocate for like not because you had a shitty day means that you
You
need to
need to
be
make
shitty to
me
other people.
make my day shitty.
Because even if you had a shitty day, you can still carry on. You know, if you're carrying on, the next person you don't know.
We're responsible for our own
Um,
actions.
yes, we are responsible for our own action, but we're also responsible for not.
We're also responsible for our actions out in the world.
Yes,
You
that's what I'm
know,
trying to say.
like we're responsible for policing ourselves within the crowd of other people. We're responsible for being true to ourselves, however, not, crapping on everyone's day because we're feeling shitty, right? I've had
Yeah.
people who see me on the sub, like when I used to ride the subway a lot. I used to have a lot of people who went, and I loved when they did this because it was so unexpected. Like I'm sitting there minding my own damn business, and looking out the window or having resting
Bitch
bitch
face.
face, and they'll be like, hey, smiles are free, and I'm like, I'm done.
I've never had anyone do that to me,
I've
but that's
had I've
great.
had a lot of times, and you know what? It actually brightens my day. Like I don't care if you're trying to hit on me, and I don't care what that message was for, but the fact that you decided to look at me and say smiles are free, and now I'm smiling, like thank you for that.
Yes. So let me touch back on making sure that you guys check on your loved ones. Even if it's someone that you don't like, please check on them. I tend to check on people who I don't talk to anymore. It's
Callie
just
checks
me.
on me. I like it.
Yeah, I'll call her up
She makes me
randomly and
smile.
I'll go like, "What's your mental?" Or if I do want to vent, like I do have the one or two people that I'm very close with that I do open up to when I decide to do that. And when I call, I don't just spill all my situation or my ish on them. I actually take the time to hear them out first, and then I say, "What is your mental? Are you in that capacity to
To hear
hear
me.
hear me? If not, that's okay. If you are, great. Um, But the good thing about my friendship with these people is that they know they could tell me the truth. If they're not in that mental space right now, they could be like, "Hey, Callie, I'm not in the space right now, but I'll get you back later." And I'll be like, "Okay, cool." But if it's like very serious and detrimental, I know that my friends are a safe place where I could say, "You know what? Right now, it's like really detrimental to my health. Can you please
Yeah.
spare me 5 minutes?" You
Yeah.
know? But you really, even when you're trying to talk to people, you also need to check where they're at because you don't know. And when you have friendships and relationships, please make it an open where you guys understand each other and you know where each other is coming from, and it's not one way, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I
You
know
don't
I'm an
want one way
empath.
relationships.
Girl, being an empath is crazy because I take on everyone's feelings, everyone's emotion, everyone's situation, and it's stressing me, but no one knows because I keep a straight face. Because I just need to know it, make sure that I'm there for them and forget about myself. I do have some friend that will be like, "Hey, check yourself. You're kind of burning yourself out right now." I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm fine. I'm fine. I just need to be here for this person right now and forgetting that my own mental space." But I have friends that will bring me back and be like, "You need to take a pause. I get that you want to be there, but be there for yourself as well. And what are you doing to help with your mental space?" You know, and thank you guys. I have those friendships, and I'm glad I have friendships where I know I don't have to speak to you guys 24/7 of the day, but I do know even if it's 6 months from now and I haven't talked to you, I'm still able to come to you. I do not have any friendships that I've gone 6 months without talking to. I don't think so. And if I do, thank you for still being there, right?
I agree.
Yes.
I mean, there was times where we didn't talk for a while, but
Yeah, but we're
every time,
different. We're
yeah,
family. Like I
every time we
know.
come back, it's like I talked to you yesterday.
Yeah,
You were
like
here
we like
yesterday.
if we're mad at each other, like that's the good thing about me too. Like I'm big on communication comprehension and like active listening.
Mhm.
So if I'm upset with her and like I will tell her and I'll let her know like listen, if you're
But
upset with me,
she starts it with a smile. I know, okay, I know what's happening because of the smile. Like we'll be mad as fuck, and then she'll be like, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and then she's smiling, and I'm smiling. I'm like, Callie, you know I was mad at you, right? She'd be like, Lizzie, you know I was mad at you, right?
it took work. This is like 13 years of
Yeah,
friendship.
of work
That's why we say
for real.
we're family. It took a lot of work because I used to be so mad at her where I'm like, "Stop being passive aggressive with me." Like I hate that. Like I don't like anyone. Like for me personally, I cannot handle when someone is passive aggressive because it scares me. I'm not gonna hide and talk. It does scare me because it makes me get into my head about the type of person that you are. If you're passive with me, I'm paranoid because I'm like, I don't want you smiling in my face and plotting to like seriously cause damage to me, especially because I'm such an open book and I'm like, yada yada yada. Like everybody should be nice.
It was a lot. There was a lot of I guess you could call that trust issues.
Well, yeah, it wasn't between us, but it was because of the situation that we were dealing with
Yeah.
at the time. Our relationship did go through where it was between us, but we were able to
Hmm.
talk about it and work through it. And like there was a lot of apology and tears. Again, she did not see me cry with it till she left. I spoke up, call her on the phone, and then I cried. It's really hard to cry in front of people, guys.
Yeah, I don't like crying in front of people either.
Yeah,
That includes my kids, but
maybe
I
that's because
do
we're
anyways.
Gemini's.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're both Gemini's, so that comes to play. She's more of the, how would you explain your side? I don't know. I'm like the type that hides everything through a smile, and like I'm always there, and I'm always ready to jump in and start
Hmm.
the day. I'm always ready to jump in and help assist. Anything that you want me for, I'm always there. But when it comes to myself, it's all off, shut off. What about you?
I don't like to cry in public. However, I do like to talk about things and communicate things. I like to give myself breaks to talk about things because I feel like if I say something heated in the moment, and this stems a lot from how I dealt with my mom, um, especially as a teenager growing up, and I had a lot of guilt back then and now about how I dealt with those situations. So for me, it's I like to give myself breaks so that I don't say anything that I don't mean. I like to cry in the shower.
I do that. The
Cry in the
water is
shower.
a big connection for me.
Yeah, true.
Well, for us, the
Same.
water is huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I actually had to write a piece in college about self care, where we had to do an image, a picture, or a quote of some sort. And I actually did a picture of the shower, and then I had to write about what that meant for me. And for me, I wrote about the good and the bad about the shower. I have a weird relationship with the water, with the shower, especially like the
With the
bathroom.
ocean, with the
No,
lake.
not even that. Like the bathroom itself, I have a weird relationship with it because the shower is where I try to commit suicide. The shower is where, like the washroom itself is where I used to go and cry. It's where I used to go and like
Break down,
cut
have your
myself.
private
Like I used to cut a
moments.
lot too in high school and middle school. I always
I
did that in the
couldn't do it.
washroom. The washroom was where I went to like lock up the outside world when my parents were going at it. Well, they never really went on it, but like went out about it with about me.
It's
Um,
my room for me.
it's my escape, but then it's also where I would find my meditation, find my ground, like ground myself. It's also where I would find the energy or like all the writing stuff is coming to me. It's where I wrote a lot of my poems. It's where my sister and I had our her moment when there was a breakthrough between our relationship because she's my parents' biological kid. I'm adopted, and that we had a barrier there where she was like, "You're taking over my life. Go back to where you come from." But I remember the bathtub, like we were just me and her laying down in the bathtub out of nowhere writing songs, and that's when we had a breakthrough in our relationship. We were like, you know what? You're here to stay, and I appreciate that you're here, and I love you as my sister, and that's where our relationship started. So I have a love.
Of the bathroom.
I love of the bathroom and the shower. Also, I hate of the bathroom and the shower. Not even a hate, just it's where my good and my bad happens. And I love the shower. I love water in general. When I have my moments and my writing blocks come on where I can't write, can't seem to find the words, I think of the water. If I'm close by a lake, I like to go to lake shore and
Oh,
just
me
watch the
too.
water just
The
go.
waves and I remember when I used to go back home like
Someone said it's the shower cry for me.
Period,
Period.
boo. Yeah, for real, like the water has a connection with me that I can't explain. It just brings this calm and it can't happen online. Like I can't watch, the waves crash on a YouTube video. I need to be there to feel like to be completely immersed in the feeling of, you know,
I mean,
being at
all
the
day
lake, like
yesterday,
being
all
there.
she's been playing is the sound of the ocean.
Oh yeah, and rain. Rain was a really big thing for me. I I had a moment with my dad and my mom. One Mother's Day, it was raining really, really, really hard, and my dad, he told me to get dressed, to put on my rain boots, and we went for a walk. And he picked. We were on the walk in the rain for whatever reason. I don't know, but he picked the most beautiful lilacs for my mom, and he kept a Swiss Army knife in his pocket, and he cut them off of the like bushel that he found, and they were perfect, and they were the most beautiful colors of purple like I've ever seen. And we went back home, and he gave it to my mom, and my mom was super happy, and we just had that was like the best rainy day moment I can remember. And from then I had like this connection with water, with rain, with sun, with sand, like with the beach, waves crashing, with the lake, waves crashing on the shore, waves waddling under the like boardwalk, like I have a huge connection with water. It just brings a calm that I can't explain.
I'm sorry, guys. I know this has been a very long live. Sometimes when you plan, it doesn't go as you plan because this was a very great topic to be talking about, bringing awareness to. So it did go longer than expected, which I am grateful that it did.
Yeah.
I'm hope that I was able to touch someone, make a difference, teach someone something. I hope that someone learned something from me, that I learned from this live and the questions that was being asked. You guys have definitely given me a lot of tools and things to think about more.
Mhm.
And I will continue my study in this field and just I love learning, guys. Like I if I had a chance to be a career student, I probably would be one because I just love learning. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here with us. To my YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that post notification bell down below. And I'll see you guys next week. For my Facebook, do you want to say something?
Yeah. Leave comments. Go watch our YouTube videos,
Mine
and the ones that I'm in.
over there.
um, and leave comments about what you'd like to see. Leave comments about what kind of videos you want to see, what kind of material you want us to put up, what kind of topics you want us to discuss, because we will be doing lives more. And Callie will continue doing videos. So whatever you guys want to see her do, and whatever you guys want to see or hear about, let us know in the comments,
Yes.
and we will definitely get to it.
And for my Instagram peoples, you guys could definitely DM me on questions or things that I should do that you guys want to see. I want this channel to be interactive.
Mm-hmm.
I am here to listen. The sky's limit, guys. Any if you want to hear more about me, like learn, like know me or who knows me best type of thing, or getting to know me, you can.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, guys. Someone just commented. I didn't know you were watching. No, I'm shy. Thank you for watching. I didn't know that you were there this whole time. I don't know what to do. Well, like a little schoolgirl. Yes, guys. So thank you. Send me DMs. Message me about what you guys want to hear, or if you just want to watch the video, that's okay. My YouTube channel is Cali as in CALIE space Fornia as in FORNIA. My Instagram, if you're not already on it, it's Cali underscore Fornia as in CALIE underscore FOR and 1A. And my Facebook is my name. Yeah. Getting to know you would be a great video. I will do that one. Send questions about what you guys want to know about because if you leave it up to me, you guys will know my whole life story. So
Well, that's what story time for. So
that is why I have a story time channel. You are getting to know me in that sense. But if you wanted to get more
detailed.
detailed and personal, I am willing to do that. I am open to doing that. Sorry, I'm like blushing right now. And thank you again for listening. I can't believe I'm like this right now. At the end of the, you showed yourself at the end. Thank you for that because I probably would have got stuck the whole video. Um, yes. So thank you guys again. I keep saying that. And follow me on my Instagram, please.
Share, because we do want a big interactive crowd. We would love to see all the comments that your friends might have, and the material that your friends might have might be super interesting. So, yeah, bring your friends along for the ride.
Yes. And
All right,
have a
guys.
good way, bestie. Have a good night, guys, and thank you for watching. I
Bye,
know it was long,
everyone.
and I appreciate you guys. Mwah. Love all around. Give yourself a hug. You guys are loved, and be proud of yourself and who you are and where you're at. If you need to take time to process what you're going through, that is okay. Don't let anyone rush you or tell you otherwise. And I'm here, even if I don't know you, I am also here to listen. That is part of my job as a counselor. So, and I enjoy doing it, guys. It's what I love to do. So please hit me up if you need to. I am here to listen. I found my calling. That is my calling. So thank you. Have a nice night. Oh, love you guys. Hugs all
Bye.
around. Bye. Which one first? Finish.